Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're tackling something huge, the visionary leadership blueprint. Making that jump from a high-performing doer to a truly visionary boss, it's notoriously tricky. Countless talented entrepreneurs and professionals trip up here because, honestly, the exact instincts that made you a rock star solo contributor, they can totally sabotage you once you're the one in charge. So let's break down the exact mechanics of making this leap.
Here is our roadmap for the day. We'll be hitting 6 key areas: flipping the leadership script, empowering your people, the absolute discipline of hiring slowly and firing quickly, how to delegate and inspect, remembering who the real boss is, the customer, and finally, setting the ultimate example. Let's get right into it.
All right, Section 1, flipping the leadership script.
The absolute first hurdle you've got to clear is fundamentally changing your mindset, because the skills that got you that promotion, they aren't going to keep you in the leadership seat. The game changes the second you become an authority figure. You have to flip your script from me to we. Think about it. As an individual contributor, your focus was naturally all about you, your technical hustle, working harder than your peers, your solo achievements. But as a leader, you've got to trade in that solo hustle for team collaboration. Your performance is no longer about how well you do the job. It's about how well you facilitate others doing it. It's a massive pivot from technical skills to personal skills.
Basically, you're no longer the center of the universe here. Team performance is what dictates your ultimate success now, not your personal excellence. If your team fails, you fail, period. Even if your individual ideas are absolutely brilliant. You have to genuinely embrace the reality that you win by helping them win.
Which brings us to Section 2, empowering your people. Now that you're focused on the team, how do you actually spark their drive?
Take a look at the words believe and special here. This really hits the nail on the head regarding your new primary job, making your employees feel genuinely good about working for you. People don't grind through the hard stuff just out of fear or guilt. No way. They push through when their goals align with a real sense of purpose and satisfaction. So, to get the best out of your people, you absolutely must create an environment where they feel trusted, empowered, and deeply valued.
And you can spark that momentum right now with a few specific tactics. I love this example. There was a new manager who took over a seriously struggling customer service department. You know what he did? He literally shredded every single old performance review in their files, just ripped them up. He told the team, hey, clean slate, show me what you can really do. And within months, that division transformed into a total performance gem. Beyond that, you should constantly be bragging about your direct reports to the higher-ups. Give them challenging tasks that prove you trust their capabilities. Oh, and give them regular, honest feedback. Don't just wait around for some annual review to tell them how they're doing.
Moving on to Section 3, hire slowly, fire quickly. Because let's be real, empowering people only works if you actually have the right team to begin with.
You have to act as the ultimate talent filter. This quote right here is a harsh but super necessary reality check. Tolerating low performers, it isn't an act of kindness. Honestly, it's management malpractice, and it destroys morale. Mediocrity operates exactly like a disease. If you let it hang around, it becomes your accepted baseline. Your absolute best people are going to look around, see that slacking off is totally fine, and they'll either drop their own standards or just leave your organization entirely.
So, what do you actually do when you spot this infection in your ranks? Well, you really only have 3 choices, and you need to choose carefully, because the rest of your team is watching how you handle it.
Those 3 choices are train them to excel, fire them quickly, or do nothing and just watch that mediocrity spread. Look, if you can't groom them, you gotta broom them. Once you realize you've made a bad hire, or if someone just flat out refuses to improve after coaching, you have to act fast. Letting them go ends a huge period of toxic stress for everyone. Plus, it protects your top performers and sends a crystal clear message about the standards of your organization. Obviously, you always terminate with dignity, but whatever you do not delay.
Okay, Section 4, delegate and inspect.
So you've got the right people in place. Now you have to master giving away your authority without just tossing away your responsibility. Proper delegation is a total game changer, but it needs clear direction. And here's the kicker. It completely falls apart without close, active follow-up. You get what you inspect, not what you expect. You can't just hand off a massive project and cross your fingers. You have to ask how they're doing, actually look at the work, and show your priorities through your attention. If you aren't inspecting the progress, you aren't delegating. You're just abandoning your job.
To actually pull this off effectively, think of it like a delegation dial that you adjust based on a team member's competence. If they're brand new, you do the task while they observe. As they get the hang of it, you tell them what to do, then teach them step by step. Next, you shift into ask mode, acting more like a coach. And finally, you give them a safety net, letting them totally run the show while you're just there for support. You're constantly turning this dial depending on the person and the task at hand.
And hey, a quick aside, do not let your employees reverse delegate their decisions back to you just because they're afraid of messing up. If you assign a task, make sure they actually have the authority to get it done. Don't buy a good watchdog and then go out into the night and bark yourself, right? You hired smart people, let them do the thinking, or else you're just going to burn out.
To manage your time efficiently while doing all this, look at this breakdown. Notice that massive 60% chunk? That is exactly where your management energy needs to go, straight to your absolute best people. It is such a common trap to spend all your time trying to fix your worst employees. Don't do it. Give 30% to those with great potential, and spend maybe 10% of your time on the underperformers. Your top performers are the ones generating the revenue and setting the bar. They literally deserve the bulk of your leadership bandwidth.
All right, Section 5, the real boss, the customer.
Now, you might be the manager, but there is someone else dictating exactly why we're doing all this work in the first place. Yep, the customer. Even if you are the CEO, you answer to the customer because their money funds absolutely everything your organization does. It is incredibly easy to get caught up in the rush of daily internal drama, office politics, and metrics. But the second your team loses sight of the customer, the whole business is going to fail.
The logic here creates a pretty stark chain reaction. You must design every single role in your company to get or keep a customer. Make no exceptions. It's brutal but simple. If there are no customers, there's no money. If there's no money, there's no company. And if there's no company, there are no jobs. As a leader, you have to relentlessly remind your employees of this reality and make sure their day-to-day tasks actually align with keeping the customer happy.
Finally, we reach Section 6, setting the ultimate example. This is the foundation holding the entire blueprint together, your personal character. Because, honestly, everything we've talked about completely falls apart if your team doesn't trust the person delivering the message. The single most critical thing you can model is absolute honesty. You have to prove to your team that when you make a promise, you keep it without exception. Treat your employment agreements, project deadlines, and commitments to your team like a binding marriage contract. Always honor the deal. Speak up early if there's a problem, but once a deal is struck, you stick to it. The cost of a broken promise is an unacceptably huge loss of trust.
And this has to be built right into your daily habits. Your team is going to look directly at you for cues on how to behave. You are the thermostat for the whole organization. If you want a culture of accountability, you have to publicly take responsibility when you mess up. If you want a culture of integrity, you've got to walk the talk and speak the hard truths, even when it's super uncomfortable. As you act, so will your employees.
So making this transition from doer to boss means stepping into the deeply human and sometimes messy world of managing people. You have to let go of the comfort of your technical skills so you can empower your team, filter talent, delegate fiercely, serve the customer, and lead by an unimpeachable example. You have the blueprint in your hands now. The only question left is, are you ready to stop doing and start leading?